Great to have you back on the channel and great to have you on this show, Dai. Woke policing, clearly these coppers didn't get the message.
No, they certainly did. Well, they would if I was in charge, because obstructing the highway, no matter what Dr. Starkey say, is an offence, has always been an offence. I can remember 50-plus years ago arresting the whole of the Harry Kishner movement because they were blocking Kensington High Street. My goodness, I wouldn't stand for this nonsense. Now newly promoted Assistant Commissioner Twist comes on. I heard him speaking on one channel. He wouldn't inspire me at all. What the public want are fair, firm coppers in charge. And these people are committing what I describe as a public nuisance. And the new law that came out in this year makes it an offence to cause public nuisance to such an extent that we have seen. Now, the Metropolitan Police have been doing this for well over a year, along with their friends from Essex. My goodness, why don't they get a grip? Why is it always the poor unfortunate you and I travelling to work, whether it's on trains, buses or anything else? Why are we can't go on strike, we can't protest to this level, and yet we're expected to tolerate it? I find it intolerable, the lack of police action, and my goodness, I wish I was 20 years younger and somebody would bring me back.
Something seems to have happened to the culture of the British police, Dai. We saw that in how cops handled the Extinction Rebellion protests during the lockdowns and the BLM protests as well. It seemed that the police were only willing to get tough with those out campaigning against lockdown themselves. It's like the cops are picking and choosing their preferred causes.
Well, yes, they do, and I'm very sad. I'm very proud to have been a member of the Metropolitan Police, where we were the police under people like Peter Imbert, Lord Imbert, and others, and Stevens. I'm sorry, I just have no faith in this current crop, whether it's the College of Policing. Look, let's deal with some of the issues. They have spent, as I understand it, nearly 13,000 hours of manpower on these so-called demonstrators, who, as far as I'm concerned, not only are committing offences, but those who are aiding and abetting them are committing serious offence of conspiring to cause a public nuisance. The Meta and the CPS appear only to have discovered this because only 8 out of 800 arrests, 200 have been charged. Now, there is a backlog in the courts, but surely we could be fast-tracking this because the people of London deserve it. They don't deserve to have their fire brigades, police and ambulance delayed because of half a dozen people who think they can take the law. When are we going to wake up to reality in this country? God help us.
Are we recruiting the wrong kinds of cops, or is it the culture, or is it policy? What's the problem?
Well, I think it's a combination of both, really. There is a discipline code in the police service or police force. It used to be a force in my day. And there's an ethical code. What I would do to deal with the so-called racism, undoubtedly there has been some awful cases, I would have every officer sign a legal document saying that if you commit an offence under the police discipline code or the ethical code, and there is both, then you will be sacked. No ifs, no buts. But trying to get rid of lazy, corrupt policemen is a difficult process unless you catch them bang to rights or you get evidence. But we need to shake up the discipline service. But my goodness, we need to shape up some of the leadership. I had the privilege of being chairman of London and the City's Chief Superintendents Association and a national spokesman. In 25 years, I can't remember when some of my colleagues are so badly led. And that's the crux, not so much on the ground floor, although some of them need sorting out. We need to sort out their sergeants and inspectors and get rid of this awful. They spend a huge amount on diversity, £10 million. How many female beaters, how many burglars could be caught with some of this money? My goodness, we need a shake-up, but nobody seems capable of doing it.
Di, I've just got a couple of seconds. Former head of Royal Protection. You know Lady Susan Hussey, who got into hot water for asking an attendee at an event about domestic violence where she really came from. Is she racist, yes or no?
Two things. I don't know her well, but I have met her. No, she is not. And your colleague the other night, Nana, explained far better, eloquently, and took apart the nonsense that has been actually touted by so many bullies.